It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're going to get your just rewards when he isn't performing at his sold-out shows or producing chart-topping hits and winning awards. A very young Mr. Eazi likes to give back to the community, and he recently launched his emPawa Africa Foundation, where he is committed to funding 100 emerging African artists. Artists put up a video of themselves singing, followed by hashtag emPawa100. Then following a selection process, the successful top 10 gets flown down to South Africa, where they get the opportunity to be mentored by Diplo and many other world-class international producers and musicians. Eazi, welcome to it, brother. I say young
to be here.
because I look at your body of work, I look at what you've achieved, I look at the collaborations that you've had, and it's like you should have been in the industry for kind of 20, 30 years, buddy. You've done so much. What is the key? How have you been able to do this where others haven't, and why is it so important for you to help create that opportunity for others now?
You know, for me, I always feel like it has to be beyond you, you know, because when something starts with you and you don't build things around it, then it ends with you, and then there's no story. But if you could create an ecosystem beyond yourself, you know, it's going to help you at the end of the day, because your community is bigger. If you have a community where everyone is successful, you're not going to be scared of thieves.
It's one thing to do with heart, and yes, you're going to have that momentum where you're all working towards the same thing, but you still have to be good.
Yeah, true.
You still have to be commercially viable.
You know.
When we look at the kinds of guys, Major Lazer, you know, these are heavyweight superstars. How do you attract their attention, and what's it like working? The pressure must be immense when you're stepping into that environment.
No, not really. You know, I call my music Banku music. It's just basically fusion. And so for me, every time I'm about to make a record, I'm always thinking, how do I make this bigger? How do I fuse sounds from South America and sounds from Africa? And for instance, Diplo, Major Lazer, they're very big on the fusion sound.
It's big at the moment.
You know,
everyone wants to have
Everyone
that.
wants to, it's like musically, everyone wants to connect. And so it makes things easier for me, although the music is good, like you said. But there's no pressure.
People got to dance, man. That's the most important.
You're just having fun. You just have to know that, okay, I'm trying to make people dance, and open-minded. Who knows, tomorrow I might be singing with someone from South Korea, you know. Just want to make people dance.
There seems to be, in a very authentic way, a wave breaking for African artists. A self-belief that we don't need to have a Western stamp in what we're doing, but rather, like you say, a collaborative feel. You know, there's nothing wrong with paying homage to what's come before you, but at some point, you've got to believe in yourself enough to back it. Do you feel Africa's time has come, or is it just a commercial thing that everyone's tapping into?
You know, honestly, I feel it's always been Africa's time, from, you know, Brenda Fassie to Felani Kuti to, like, even till now. So it's not just a now thing. I think now there's just more realization across Africans that, you know what, if you could make 1 billion people in Africa dance, then there's no reason why you won't be able to make the world dance. So there's that, you know what, I gotta make my people dance. And when it happens locally, it will spread. You know, the internet is creating one world.
Yeah, it's a global village. I absolutely love that, but take nothing away from the creativity that is pouring out of Lagos at the moment. There is something beautiful about Central Africa at the moment. I know Ghana, another source of massive inspiration. We see it in fashion, but musically there's something driving it there. What drives your creative process? How do you begin a project?
You know, for me, it's everything. For instance, I could come to this interview and just one thing you say will spark an idea of a project. Or you might say one word and I'm like, what's the meaning of that? Let me put it in a song.
I'm going to phone you for royalties for anything we've spoken about.
I mean, we'll share. It's collaboration. So for me, it's everything around me that inspires me, everything. And there's no limits. Everything around me. The news inspires me. Like walking down the streets inspires me. So I like to keep an open mind.
I love that, man. I think, you know, there's a huge outcry in this country to open up the gates of the industry to young artists, and a big part of that is mentorship. And giving people the opportunity to feel just for a moment what it's like to have cracked it. And I think what you're doing with your emPawa100 campaign very much embodies that for me. What's the dynamic there? How can people get involved? Let's put it out there right now to the peeps, man.
Yeah, so to be honest, emPawa is more like a platform. emPawa is a platform to help connect African music. So you see, like TV stations, music TV stations have a different feed playing for South Africa, a different feed playing for East Africa. And what happens is, I'm in Nigeria, but I don't know what's happening in South Africa musically. So I said, you know what, it's already far gone with us 8-year artists, but for the next generation of artists, let's create a level playing field. And, you know, one thing that's beautiful about African artists is we're not just, you know, artists, we're entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So
You
we're
have to be,
music
yeah.
businesses. So that was why I said, you know what, I'm a successful, independent, global African artist. So why don't I put this knowledge towards these new kids and also give them a platform? So we're shooting 100 videos in this first cohort, and then we flew everyone out to South Africa. We had Grammy Award producer Diplo come in to teach them on production, work with them, tell them his story. We had Maporisa flying, we had Ray flying, like loads of people just flying in. And it's beautiful to see everybody's eager to say, you know what, the next generation of African artists must be business-minded. They must know, they must have information, and you know, they must also make good music at the end of the day.
Oh man, well you continue to make good music at the end of the day, dude. It's been very inspiring to connect with you and your brand and what you're doing in that space, and keep it up, man. We'll have to go on to 1,000 videos in the next round, but really looking forward to seeing Mr. Eazi perform right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show in just a moment.